We good? Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is going to be game 2 between Team Sigh and NYNBW. So we get ready to pick and bans. The teams have swapped sides. It is currently NYNBW on the blue side and Team Sigh on the red side, currently winning 1-0. As we're going to be seeing the Dr. Mundo ban and the Quinn ban immediately from Team NYNBW.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the same bans potentially on the side of Team Sigh with the Victor and Nivea bans. Target to Mingo right there.
Well, are they going to leave the Lulu up? Because we're presuming, I'm going to presume right now that Team.
I think the important things right here is gonna be the Lulu Morgana because yesterday we saw Team Sigh struggle when they didn't get Lulu Morgana on their team comp like the game after they got either banned or picked. So we're gonna see if the Lulu does get banned from Team Sigh, or if it does. That's what I'm saying right there, right? The Morgana does get banned, and now we're gonna see if the Lulu gets banned as well, or if they're just gonna first pick the Lulu for Mingo, or it could be even a top lane Lulu too.
There's an R ban. Interesting. So I think picking the Lulu here, it would be very wise, right? It was
very strong.
It was such a pain for Team NYNBW to deal with. But
they're gonna go for the Rek'Sai pickup. So they give them the Lulu in favor of the Rek'Sai because Rek'Sai was banned last game, so they decided to go for it this game.
How would you rate the current jungle tier list in terms of top tier junglers?
I feel like you have 4 top tier jungle picks in the form of Rek'Sai, Elise, and Kindred. So you don't have to first pick one of them, especially if all 4 of them are open, because you have the option of picking whatever you want into whatever jungle matchup you have. Because you just gave them away. You just gave up Lulu to get a champion where it's not. And the Rek'Sai is not a bad champion by any means, but it could have been just picked up later on in the draft if you wanted the Rek'Sai. And then we have Tristana Thresh being picked up again. So we have the single target damage and tower pushing from the Tristana.
So if you're Team Sigh right here, right, you're clearly seeing a completely different dynamic coming in from Team NYNBW.
I feel like Sigh's going to pick up. I feel like they're going to pick their bot lane right here in the form of Kog'Maw and Janna. I think is what they're probably going to pick up with Morgana being banned.
You do agree, just keep running the
Dragonmon? Yeah. You just keep running, because if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Keep running it because it works well for you and keep doing it.
Okay. We're going to have to see, though, what TS Greed decides to do up top, right? Now that he doesn't have the Quinn. He will have a guaranteed last.
So look, there's a Janna hover. As I mentioned before, there's a Janna hover. It's probably going to be the Kog'Maw hover too.
I would expect Kog'Maw or Jinx.
Because if they pick Kog'Maw right here, then you can just pick the counter matchup for Greed. Oh, it's going to be Elise, even better. It's a very good draft.
Oh, so it's going to be the top Nautilus, right?
Oh, yeah, top Nautilus.
Top Nautilus.
So they flex picked the Nautilus, actually.
Okay. So they're going to retain some early game pressure in the form of the Elise.
And then Mingo locks in Orianna, so it's a lot of good late game scaling and decent team fighting on the side of NYNBW. So we're going to see what top lane pick they decide to fill out here, because I feel that they might want something that's early to mid game scaling in the top lane. I think a Shen probably would be potentially good for them right here.
Gonna have to see as we still wait for Mentos to begin hovering. The Orianna matchup.
Oh, actually, one of else is open. Malphite too. Malphite and Shen are open right now. I think Iron would be very good for the top lane for them.
There is
they're gonna go for the top lane Echo.
Interesting. There is a lot of magic damage on the side of them. Actually, right now, funny enough, Team Sigh is all AP. Look at that. So I actually won't. I'm not expecting a Kog'Maw here. I'm expecting a Jinx. I'm expecting something in the form just raw. Oh, okay. Or AD carry Blitzcrank, right? Why not? That's definitely a pick.
Get a rapid fire cannon, mix him from melee to Graves range, kind of.
Or AD carry Azir, man. Where's the faith? Hey,
oh yeah, see, you're right about the Jinx pickup. So that's very strong that they have Jinx, Janna, and Lulu on the same team as them. So this is gonna be a game where they're basically trusting Wrath to carry this game in terms of the mid game when they start grouping up together, and then he could just do as much damage as he can with the protection of Janna, followed by Whimsy. Yo, a Whimsy Jinx is not something to like mess around with. That will mess anyone up. I played a game as Jinx and solo queue where my team had Tam Kench and Lulu, and the enemy team could not do anything to me. Like, I was able to avoid a Syndra ultimate just because Tam Kench devoured me at the right time.
Oh man! But hey, we did some compliments to us. We did some pretty good work on that prediction there. We can become a pair of analysts for CLG or TSM. We got this.
Hey, I don't say I didn't do it because I applied to become a TSM analyst. They didn't say anything back to me, but I also applied to Fnatic, and they haven't said anything back just yet either.
You know what, man? They're missing out. They're missing out on the Diamond King himself. But
they're missing out on the freeload, man. I told Fnatic, hey, Soraka is broken as shit this patch. You want to know what got picked? Yo, you want to know what got picked at IAM? Soraka. You want to know what got banned the games after that? Soraka.
Ooh, laying down the ruling. Well, now you're gonna have your completed resume here. You can add to your portfolio. Be like, listen, you want to know my skill set? You want to know my background? Bam! Here's some ILO, some pick and bands magic going on here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, these are going to be your two squads brawling once again on the Rift as we just hang on tight during the delay. Did we touch base on this Orianna Lulu matchup?
If I have to say anything about that matchup, it's very boring. It's just you just shove the lane back at forfeit at each other. It's a very boring matchup. I hope no mid laner ever has to play that matchup.
Is it significant that Mingu took Ignite? He took Ignite last time. It didn't really work out for him.
I feel like it would have been better for him to have run to cleanse this game because you would have been able to cleanse either Nautilus CC or at least Cocoon.
Or teleport, maybe, to at least be able to...
Because with the immobility of Orianna, you want to probably have a defensive summoner spell like that. Especially against a composition like this.
Right. So here's the way I can see NYNBW winning, right? Is that no matter what, end of the day, you're facing a Lulu, Jen, and Nautilus. That's super annoying, right? But it's also low damage. Outside, of course, Lulu snowballing or what have you. Elise is really good in the early game, but she falls off as well. And same thing with Lulu. The issue is that because games are so much shorter, those, these champions fall off late game, arguments don't really apply because games are ending between 25 and 35 minutes. So here's what I'm thinking. We already saw that I Do No Damage and Matt Yu were able to hold their own and even gain an advantage over TS Wrath and YOLO Gucci Swag in the bot lane. So I give especially with the comps that the bot lane competitions that were shown that are showed, I'm going to give the advantage to NYNBW. So I think the pressure is on TS Wrath to just farm as much as he can without dying. So knowing that your bot lane is going to be falling behind already, does that implore TS Lust to camp his bot lane, or does he just camp the top lane as usual and just let the bot lane fend off for himself? Because unlike the previous game where you had a Quinn to remedy the lack of team fight damage in the comp, in this new comp for Team Sigh, it's basically all TS Wrath, outside Lulu Glitterlands, basically.
I think when it comes to just the bot lane matchup right now, we've seen in the past that Team Side's bot lane is a little weak in certain 2v2 matchups, but the thing about them being weak in those matchups is that they always have Wrath on a late game scaling champion, just because if he gets behind in the early game, it doesn't necessarily matter as long as he gets items and he's able to output the damage in the mid to late game. But another thing you also have to take into account is that Team Sigh is always running double teleport. So if their bot lane gets in trouble, it's not necessarily a 2v2 matchup, it's more like a 4v2 because you have to keep the teleport into consideration, because if you try to fight them, you have a Lulu teleporting in, saving one of them, or no, it's teleporting in and saving either of them, and that doesn't even include if Lust decides to come down as well.
Certainly right you are, as we get into the loading screen and shortly thereafter onto the Rift. Team NYNBW faced a pretty tough beating in the first game. I'm going to see just how their mentalities stack up, how they can, refresh themselves, shake off what, the early game problems that they faced into Team Sigh, how they can deal with Team Sigh's good jungle control, how they can deal with their vision control, and how they can deal with their rotations. Definitely all questions that we're going to have to see here as we get into the Rift. This is the second game in this best of 5, and you know, win or lose, these teams are going to be trying their best. So let's definitely see what they're made of. As we get into the Rift here, we're going to be seeing all the items buys, and it looks like we're faced with a pause.
But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see if this game will be as snowbally as the first game.
Okay, so we're going to be getting back into the game here. Apologies for the short delay, folks. Here come all the item buys. So Echo Top. Echo Top is definitely not the most, you know, meta pick, if you will. It's definitely not something that's been seen much. We saw, the last time I saw a professional play was Huni playing it top, and that was around the time when Echo was broken. So, what are you expecting out of this pick?
Not very much, just because in terms of the top lane meta right now, he doesn't exactly fit there all that well, and I feel he's just going to get kited really hard in these team fights.
Right. Maybe he's opting for
not what the song says.
Another split pusher. You know, to be honest, I'm not even a big fan of his split push. It's not awful, but it's not like one of the most fast.
Could have been a lot better picks that were still open, like Fiora.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if this is some type of strategy involved or if this is perhaps just a comfort deal going on here. We're gonna have to see how the Echo can synergize with the team. The only thing I can think of that might work is maybe if you take the ultimate back, right? If you what's it called, chrono break.
Yeah.
So let's say you have the ball on you, right? Oriana's ball, and you chrono break. Will you take the ball with you? Assuming it's not out of range.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we can see some shenanigans like that. But apart from that, there really is no ball delivery system outside of maybe Rek'Sai E.
I just feel that considering their composition, it probably would have been better for them to have had either Shen or Malphite in the top lane. It would have been a lot better, considering that the double teleport that Team Sight always runs.
Right.
Well, they usually always run it.
Oh, the play is going to go down. TS Wrath actually going to be taking quite a lot of damage from this trade. We'll eat a full satchel charge and is brought immediately down to about 20% HP. And
Will actually be either forced to recall after that, or maybe he's just going to... He does have to use his pot, but it's going to get zoned from this wave, and then it's going to be a potential level 2 earlier on for the bot lane of NYNBW.
And see, the issue there, right, is that level 1 Janna only had Eye of the Storm. So they, the bot lane from Team NYNBW just completely bursted through that shield. And then that's it. The Janna is basically useless.
Wait, did the shield even go down? Because I don't think it even like went down onto the Jinx. I think she might put it on herself.
Oh, that's even more.
Because I don't think I even saw the shield on Jinx, as far as I saw. And they also took that explosive shot damage on the tower right there. But we have a gank in the mid lane happening with Team US Economy on the TS Sloth as they're about to face check into Lust, who gets knocked up as well. And he's taking
so
a little too much damage with the Ignite going on to Lulu, but the shield goes forward as Mingo flashes forward to finish him off, and his jungler got finished off on the side by Lust. But we have Thresh roaming on the side just to keep him safe. So that's a 1-for-1 trade where it was one team lost their mid laner and the other team lost their jungler.
That was a miscommunication and like a split decision, like a mixed decision between the teams, right? So what happened was that...
Oh, the cocoon does land, but he does not have any repel.
So what happened there, right, was that TS Lust went in, and then US Economy got the Umbrella stun up, and then US Economy Mingo went on Elise. But then the issue is that Mingo saw that TS Loth was returning to the fight, and rather than continue to attack Elise, Mingo just completely went ham. Flash Ignite, auto attack onto TS Loth, and that was it. He abandoned US Economy, and US Economy, I believe he flashed to get away, but TS Loth just flashed afterwards and just got the kill.
Another thing to notice about that 2v2 matchup as well is that because Sloth has teleport, he didn't have like an offensive or defensive summoner spell for it, so then he's a little weaker in terms of the 2v2 fighting at level 3.
Also means that he can get the lane faster and push out like he did just now. But look at the deep ward coming in around the red side buff, and is this going to be a potential 4-man dive? There's no missing pings coming out.
Oh, we see we have I do no damage in a really bad situation. Kun lands onto Matt as I do no damage, takes the lantern and heals as well. But they're going for this tower dive with Lust taking a tower shot, with Rat taking another tower shot. And it seems they might potentially live, but wait, the one goes down. There is a reset going over on Rap, and the kill credit going over to TS Sloth.
I would stay. If I was TS Lust, I would stay. This is an easy...
Oh yeah, they can do this easy dive. You know, just push out the wave and then use the Janus shield and the Elise repel, and then that's the easy kill right there.
Instead, though, they're opting to return to the mid lane for a gank. Mingo,
maybe they were probably respecting where US Economy was, because they probably didn't know where he was.
That's very possible. Mingo, though, doing a smart job avoiding the mid lane. He knows that the Lulu and the Elise would be coming back. Did he spot TS Luster?
I don't think so. But yeah, we have them trying to do something onto Lust, but he just walks away as the parallel convergence misses, and TS Sloth just pushing out the wave.
Mingo gonna be shielding up that harass. TS Sloth, actually, and here
US Economy trying to go for this gank. Has no flash, they can't deal a flash knockup, so they just...
whimsy? Every time. That's the issue, right? Is that US Economy needs to be approaching the lane from the back end of the lane, because you can't just, even if Lulu looks ill apparently, you can't just walk up there because it's not going to work. That's about the 4th or 5th time that US Economy's gone for that gank, and a simple Whimsy has completely negated it.
One thing that I want to point out though is that if you look at US Economy's build, you see that he has the machete and the talisman. So here's one thing I want to point out to junglers is that it's better if you're a jungler like Lee Sin or Rek'Sai to not get the mana regeneration portion and just get one of the components for one of the combat stat items. So if you're doing like Warrior or Cinderhulk, so if he was like trying to do Warrior, he would have gotten long swords. If he was doing Cinderhulk, he would have been able to get Ruby Crystal, because the mana regen doesn't do anything for you if you're Rek'Sai or Lee Sin.
Right. Oh, Matt missing just barely on that hook.
We have the Zephyr landing onto him, but they don't know US Economy is right here. He tries to go for the knockup, but the knockup does happen, and the Yolo Swag is forced to flash away.
So once again, another miscommunication, right? Matt Yu tries to lantern in when Rek'Sai US Economy takes the tunnel. Maybe if Matt Yu still had his lantern up, they could have potentially gone to the dive. Ooh, nice mechanics though from Mentos though. Using his phase dive just to realign himself so that the Time Winder would deal its bonus damage on the way back. TS Lust though, getting his counter jungle on heavily. Gonna be taking the wolves. Oh, very nice use of mechanics there. Letting the Spiderling finish off the wolf there. Very impressive. Looking up at the lanes though, we do see a slight, no, I'd say about top lane is more or less even. Slight advantage for Mingo in the mid lane, about a 8 or so CS lead and a 10th CS lead in the favor of I Do No Damage, so no surprise there. However, it is interesting that this lead has continued to grow despite the 4-man dive that they experienced not too long ago.
We have Lust trying to clear out a ward, but US Economy is nearby, so he tries to do his gank. It's going to be such a Economy as the fight happens in the top lane where he chrono breaks to avoid the death charge.
I feel that was unnecessary. And I feel like he's about to be very sad that he just used that chrono break as well.
Yeah, Bless might do a potential cocoon. He flashes the cocoon, so he's still a little safe.
Still, you might have not had to even burn the flash in the first place. But regardless, good presence from TS Lust, making use of that early game release to just be a nuisance and be a thorn and apply that pressure to everywhere he goes. Mento's going to be teleporting back to the top lane, so hopefully not going to be missing too much, as he's already 8 CS behind this Nautilus here. TS Greed does not have teleport though, so he'll be slow on the return. TS Sloth trying to put the pressure down onto Mingu. Mingu gonna be shielding himself a little bit too late, I feel.
We have Yusakami showing presence as well as Lust is nearby as well, so there's gonna be a potential 2v2 fight.
They do see each other.
As the junglers camp mid lane.
Mingu is running low on mana though, so I don't expect them to want to fight until he passes on the blue buff.
Oh yeah, they're giving blue buff transfers to their mid laners right now, I believe. But they just have Slothla clearing out mid lane before he gets the blue.
I think you mean Sloth is making Lust do all the work, so that he can get his farm. Mentos though, they should know that Mentos should know that that bush is boarded, right? US Economy should have relayed that information. I do know damage though, gonna be chunking out the turret. The benefits of Tristana. TS Wrath either forgetting or just completely neglecting the fact that the charge will do damage on its explosion, even if it's on a turret.
It's a lot of damage and there's nothing to laugh about actually.
Oh,
actually killed someone like that before they forgot that it did that.
Right.
And we have the shockwave being used as well as an ignite, but the wild growth is not enough as Mingo flashes to get another all attacking as the top lane gank happens where the smite and red buff damage is just a little too much. There's so many slows and then Echo's about to get the move speed bonus.
Mentos is not tanking the turret. Will it matter though?
Oh, and that looks is like committed a little too much, underestimating how much tower damage that was. I was expecting a Chrono Break. He actually had Chrono Break. I wonder why he didn't use it.
Hang on a minute. Here comes the Super Mega Death Rocket. Will it be enough?
Oh!
And a clean shot, TS Wrath. Oh my lord, that couldn't have gone even more worse than it just did.
So did Mentos not just have enough mana to use Chrono Break? Because I know it costs 100 mana.
Whether or not perhaps that was the case, but whether or not it was, you always want the person with the reset.
Oh, Lust going for the Flash Cocoon. It's going to be the end of Mingo. But Yosakami trying to get a kill back in return as they have a 1v1 fight between a Lust and a Yosakami, but Lust does have that Rune Glaive, so he will be doing more damage.
So, yes, US Economy is going Cinderhulk, you're right. So hang on a minute, we do see Matt here trying to get aggressive. Okay, so you always, when you're tower diving, you always want the person with the reset to tank the turret first, always. Then they can drop aggro, or in the case of Echo, they can completely drop aggro and heal at the same time, right? So by having Mentos not tank the turret, US Economy had to back out, which means that he stopped doing damage for the rest of the fight, and Mentos was just not doing enough damage. And even, let's say, right, even if, let's say, Mentos did get his Chrono Break off, he would have just gone away from the turret, and that's it. They would have missed the kill. So no matter what, Greed was going to be either okay, or in this case, even better than okay.
You know, I think it's one thing to mention that part of the reason why he doesn't do enough damage is because Echo's base stats in the patch got nerfed, and his base stats got nerfed, and in response, they also buff his scalings. But as you can see, the Echo has that Catalyst, so there's no ability power from there, so that's partially another reason why they have enough damage. So there's two reasons. One, Echo's base stats getting nerfed and him having Catalyst. It's what a shame all the number of tweaks mean when you're trying to kill someone.
Super unfortunate. Mentos though, gonna be putting in a little bit of pressure here though. TS Greed, more than welcome to return the favor. 12 minutes on the clock though, and the game is looking a lot closer than the first one, that's certainly for sure. 3-5 in the favor of Team Sigh. Only 1,000 gold lead here, so definitely nothing insurmountable. Mentos trying to reevaluate his lane after that failed attempt at a tower dive. US Economy trying to scratch the back of his head, wondering where that Super Mega Death Rocket came from.
The unseen rocket is the deadliest.
The unseen rocket is the deadliest indeed, my friend. TS Sloth though, so okay, can we agree, right? So I would say that in the early game, TS Sloth, just being that really annoying Lulu, has an advantage in the poke, but at a certain point, Orianna will be able to catch up.
She will have more ability power too, because she is going for the Deans in comparison to the Frost Queen.
Okay. When When do you think it can be said that Oriana will have caught up? Is it like a certain power spike? Is it a certain level?
It's in terms of the late game, in terms of the items, I believe at 2 to 3 items when Oriana is just much stronger.
Okay. So we are going to be seeing both junglers look for the top lane play. US Economy not afraid to start a fight here. He's going to be engaging, but here comes the counter engage from TS Lust as well. TS Greed going to be getting a lot of that damage. There goes the corner break. Nice repel, though. He's going to avoid the damage. Xmentos is going to be the first casualty. He does have to burn his flash to no avail. An amazing counter gank from TS Lust.
So it's just amazing. Look at in that 2v2 matchup, the Echo and the Rek'Sai actually have no damage. Like, look at this is a tank Rek'Sai with a Bambi Cinder and an Echo that has a Catalyst.
So, oh, US Economy.
Oh, that was maybe he misclicked and went in the wrong direction.
Lag, ladies and gentlemen, lag.
But as I was saying though, just look at it. In the 2v2 matchup, you have an Echo with Catalyst and a Rek'Sai with Bambi against a Runeglaive Elise and a Nautilus that has a Sheen. That's so much more damage than doing. We have Mentos that came in via teleport as Nautilus, or maybe it might even be Sloth, but it's gonna be Sloth coming in with the teleport, and Nautilus followed up as well. And since they're gonna go do the bot tower and then maybe do dragon afterwards.
Yeah, I feel like that was a little bit much there, but they can at least secure dragon with this. Maybe. So okay, if US Economy was building into the warrior component and rather than the talisman, let's say he had that longsword or two, I say that they would have been able to kill TS Greed in that tower dive in the first place. Do you agree?
Well, he did like build the talisman into the stalkers because that's like a decent amount of true damage, but I feel that if he did decide to get the launcher, but he was going for the Cinderhawk route anyway, so because he had Bambi's, I think, when he did that.
Bambi's okay, so Bambi's versus a Warhammer, they're about the same gold, right? How much is the Warhammer? 1100?
Yeah, 1100. I think Bambi's is 1000.
All right, so assuming he could have had the Warhammer,
I blame it on the Catalyst Echo damage, but
yeah,
we have Matt in a little bit of trouble as he dodges the Zap and the Cocoon, but I don't think it's enough because the damage is coming out.
I do know damage has ultimate. I'm actually really surprised he didn't go for a flash ult onto TS Lust. Because he could have flashed, he could have flashed Buster Shotted TS Lust into their turret, and then Matt Yu could have gone for a hook. He was in human form as well, so there was no chance for a repel. Of course, the Olukichi swag might have been able to save him with ultimate and things like that, but it was a potential risky play with high reward. We were speaking about how this game was close, but now it's a little bit more in the favor of Team Sigh. 3-7, a 1,500 goal lead in their favor, 17 minutes on the clock. We do see some pretty significant CS advantages in the mid lane and 80 carry rolls.
Oh, the hook lands
nice
onto TS Wrap, and that's the play, but the Monsoon knocks him all the way, but...
Buster shot.
And there's also lands as well, but it's not enough damage.
Amazing hook there coming in from Matt Yu, but man, that Eye of the Storm, just too much. Absorbs way too much damage, and in addition to that, the Monsoon as well. Just able to buy so much time for TFF to escape.
Not to mention, this is also the Frostpace's claim on the Jam, so it even has more ability power, so the heal's even greater.
We're going to be seeing the double pink ward in the bush because why risk it to one, right? You always got to be safe. Looking at the 80 carry builds though, check this out. We're seeing, oh hang on a minute, US Economy, will he be going for the gank? No, TS Sloth with the Whimsy Flash. Gonna be saying, no thank you, I'm out. TS Sloth though, a little bit out of position. We'll be able to land the cocoon, hopefully gets away. There's the phase dive, Xmentos deciding doesn't want any of that, he's gonna back off. And this is pretty bad for NYNBW. TS Greed is left alone just to split push in the top lane and getting more farm on that tanky Nautilus. But check out these 80 carry builds. We have the BF sword into what I'm imagining will be rapid fire cannon into I do no damage, and on the side of Team Sigh we have a 2/3 component Infinity Edge followed by what will most likely be a Runans. And I actually have not experimented too much with the Runans outside of Kalissa. But I imagine the idea here is that you go into rocket form.
AoE rockets on top of AoE rockets.
Exactly. And, you know, especially considering that TS Wrath is the main source of damage, I can understand why you would choose that build up. But is the AoE damage more valuable than just the straight up single target?
I feel that it would have been better to have gone rapid fire cannon just to abuse how much range that auto attack does. Just because imagine how strong that auto attack is if you have red buff as an 80 carry and then you have like 850 range on that auto attack.
That's ridiculous. Team NYNBW though finding a slight lack of awareness though from Team Sigh will be able to.
Although I do know damage might be in a little bad situation right here as Matt is looking to go for the flash blade, but the box is Sejana, but she's still safe as the fight's happening in top lane between Mentos, but he's using his teleport and there is no stun, so it's not going to be canceled at all as Greed goes into the bomb lane looking to get the anchor out onto US economy. As he flashes forward, uses the depth charge to finish off I do no damage.
Dredge line will not connect. Here comes the great flash. Oh, and a not so great flash.
It's gonna be the bot tower for Team Sigh.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, TS Lost able to win the 1v1 against Mentos. Mentos once again not even using Chrono Break. Oh, TS Sloth is going to be finding a very unhappy US economy. Matthew trying to distract, but it's not going to be enough. 3 to 12, 25, 21 minutes on the clock, and what was only a few minutes ago a relatively close game, about 1,000 and a half gold lead, is now ballooning into a 6,000 gold lead. And right as you said, Ashan, this Echo is not doing a whole lot for his team. Only 125 CS, 121 minutes into the game. Only with a Rod of Ages that still has yet to stack up. Just not really showing a whole lot here. We're going to be seeing the farm line go off as US Economy going to be clearing out some of the vision in his jungle to then take his red buff. But it is 3 turrets to none. NYNBW did manage to secure the first dragon, but at what cost? As they now face a 6,000 gold deficit 21 minutes into the game here. TS Lost opting for that Runeglaive, second into the Rylas, 4-0-2 on this Elise. Going to be picking up the Negatron Cloak. It's most likely going to be an Abyssal, so lots of damage coming out from the Elise, but still managing to remain tanky with the offset of health and MR. Meanwhile, in the top lane, TS Greed rocking the Iceborne Gauntlet Banner of Command build. Hang on a minute though, as we can see a battle in the mid lane. Matt UI gonna be spooky ghosted, gonna be getting chopped, gonna be getting killed. Mingu trying to run away from the depth charge. It
was a 2-man shockwave, but it's just not enough as damage dodges an anchor as they try to do whatever they can to save this tower, but the parallel convergence doesn't hit any targets as the monsoon comes out, and all of Team Sigh just got healed back to full HP.
That's not bad, right? At the very least, they saved the tower for a little bit of time.
Oh, the flash kill onto US Economy as they lock all their damage onto him, but it's going to take a while to kill him, but he does eventually fall anyways as they're putting all their resources onto Slot. He uses Wild Growth. I do no damage. Decides to jump into 5 people. Couldn't get the reset. He goes down as well.
And once again, Mentos dying without chrono breaking. Either he definitely had mana that time too, so it's either he's just completely neglecting the ability for what have you, or he's just severely underestimating the amount of damage that's being brought onto him. But that's going to be the inner mid turret for Team NYNBW going down. Matt UI getting spooky ghosted once again. Will not fall this time, though, as Team Sigh figures they've done enough damage, they're going to bail. A 10,000 gold lead now, 23 minutes into the game. As we do see Team Sloth. Team Sigh, TES Sloth just backing away, resetting. Most likely, they're going to be buying up a whole lot of wards, improving their items, going back out and start pink warding and taking control of the Baron Pit, which they already do have control of, but even more control of. Meanwhile, Team NYNBW trying to take this momentary lapse to at least take a turret down, and they will do so. Now only 3 turrets down, but unfortunately they are also 13 kills down. As you see Mentos here, though, pretty much getting caught out here. He doesn't manage to use the chrono break this time, so slight improvement in that regard, but he's just going to be falling down unaware.
Oh yeah, it's just crazy. So
the team
we expect this game to not be a snowball, but now it's just a one-sided stomp, as we saw in Game 1, as they're going to do this Baron and do what they always do their 1-4 split push strategy, because we have 2 teleports up for them as usual, and it just doesn't seem like NYNBW has anything they could potentially do to just stop this game.
So where did things go wrong, right? Because at this point in time, we're going to imagine that Team Sigh is going to use this Baron effectively and close out the game.
Well, let's talk about this top lane Echo pick that's 0-5 right now, and doesn't really do much in fights except just get kited out. And there's also the fact that when you look at, they gave them the Lulu first pick. They first picked Rek'Sai and gave up Lulu in favor of the Rek'Sai, and I felt that in this, you have to first pick Lulu. You have to take that champion away from them. You cannot let them have a champion like that, especially when they paired up with a hyper carry like Jinx, and you have the protection of Janet as well, followed up by a good frontline and CC in the form of Elise and Knowledge. You're just pigeonholing yourself into a situation where you're just going to get out damaged in team fights by the Jinx mid game, and you won't be able to even kill her because of all the protection that they have for her.
So, well, I suppose we can't completely discredit NYNBW yet. Maybe they can turn this game around, although it'd be very difficult. So we'll get more into the post-game analysis. Well, post-game. As we do see Team NYNBW rotating up to this top lane, going to be seeing maybe they can get a tower dive onto TS Greed, though. TS Greed making effective use of that banner hiding behind the minion, although TS lost. Caught out, forced the flash, forced these that wild go. This economy deciding he doesn't care, he's going to be going in. But the super minion with the Baron buff is just going to be playing so much, as on the bottom side, Mingo forced to defend this turret all by himself. He's going to be pushed away. This is going to be a free inhibitor for Team Side. Meanwhile, on the top lane, TS Greed going out, I do no damage, and it really feels like his name is certainly true, as he does no damage. US Economy trying to run away. TS Sloth trying to do what he can. TS Greed, everybody's so low. TS Greed still going in the bot side. TS Sloth, Gucci Swag, and Wrath just putting on the pressure on these next turrets. US Economy trying his best to get back. Mentos gonna get spooky ghosted, gonna die to the Riptide Netherlands. On the bottom side, TS Sloth will secure the kill. I do no damage, trying to not live up to his name, but unfortunately it's ingrained pretty heavily into his mindset. Triple kill on the top side for TS Sloth. And what a chaotic turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the end of the second game here. 3-22, 28 minutes by the time the game's over. And Team Sigh just laying down the rules, man.
So this is a team where you have to absolutely pay attention to what they're picking, because they're picking the same picks that are giving them the same success over and over again. The Lulu with a protection / disengage support, and then you have the hyper carry that Raph is on so that he can have damage despite being behind in the early game. And I just feel that you have to do what the other team did last time, which is what gave them a win, where they took away Lulu, Morgana, and then there was a third pick, I think. I forgot. I think it was just Mundo that they took away too. Yeah, and then from there, they were able to have a chance just because the Lulu just gives them so many good options in terms of what they can do in team fighting and in the early to mid game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that was the end of the second game. Once again, we're just gonna take a few moments here to let the teams re-enter the lobby and re-strategize, do some new thinking. We're gonna be getting right back into it shortly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.